Here, Code Pink, no escalation, no war with Iran. 1 year of genocide, 1 year of resistance. Justice for Palestine.
It's a left-wing anti-war organization registered in the United States. It focuses
Mm.
on issues such as drone strikes, Palestinian statehood, Iran nuclear deal, and human women rights in Iran and Saudi Arabia. It always sounds fantastic, and they are funded by CCP, like directly tied to somebody that's prominent among the CCP.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's the case for most of our media at this point. They're slaves.
Screwed.
They're basically slaves, but no one ever speaks about this.
Code Pink's stated goal is that it's a feminist organization with a proclaimed goal to end American misogyny and imperialism and redirect those resources towards abortions and green jobs. Jody Evans, she married Neville Roy Singman in 2017. In 2017, it says, as a self-proclaimed socialist and revolutionary, continuing to serve as the president of the board of Code Pink, you have gone on the record refusing to criticize any policy of the CCP. Nonprofit records show that since 2017, about a quarter of Code Pink's donations, more than 1.4 million, have come from two groups linked to Mr. Singman, her husband. The New York Times extensively detailed how, over a similar time period, your personal opinions and Code Pink's positions on China have both shifted to more closely align with CCP's agenda. So that's one thing, right? So 25% of Code Pink's funding comes from a group connected to Singman. Code Pink is part of a lavishly funded influence campaign that works closely with the Chinese government media machine to promote the agenda of the CCP. Neville, the husband who funds all this stuff, lives in Shanghai, China, and photos of him show him regularly meeting with officials from CCP, including at a CCP propaganda forum. Code Pink website states that China is not our enemy. The People's Forum received $20 million from the United States Community Fund. United Community Fund is one of Singman's nonprofits, which serves as a front to funnel money into organizations like the People Forum. And one last thing, an organization with ties to the Chinese Communist Party helps organize a massive anti-Israel student walkout with the support of a Brooklyn parent council, and even filmed student participations to use it in its propaganda channel. Who funded that? The People's Forum. That is Neville Roy Singman. So basically, just to explain this in short, there's a lot of organizations that rally up a lot of the students and promote to them the idea to go and protest Israel, to walk out on October 7th from their classes and to chant these crazy things and whatnot. We'd associate this stuff with useful idiots. But behind the scenes, there are actors who have an interest behind this. And for some reason, majority of the time, it is either tied to the CCP or Qatar. Qatar, we understand why, in terms of being able to promote Islamic fundamentalist interests there. But the CCP is interesting here, and I think you're somebody that knows a lot about that. They want this kind of destabilization. They want to see this clash of ideas happening on college campuses like that.
Yeah, absolutely. They want the destruction of America to become the world's unipolar hegemony, and the more that they can destroy us, the more they can seek their talons, dip their talons into other countries, such as Nicaragua and other countries that are becoming all of a sudden randomly so safe. And you're like, how is it that these countries can become so safe? No one's talking about this either. You know, you have people touting El Salvador for being such a safe country. And yeah, that's great that it's safe and people aren't dying or being, trafficked or overdosed by the drugs brought in from the MS-13. But how is it that happened? And then you go and you look, when you hear that they donated tons of buses for public transportation. They're sinking tons of money in El Salvador. They're building libraries, these super modern, beautiful, huge libraries. And the other thing that they're importing is their technology, their facial recognition technology, all the stuff that they have in China already to surveil the people of China, and a coming social credit score for El Salvador, I'm assuming at some point. But they're able to sell all this technology and say, look, you want a safer world? Use our technology. We already know that Huawei is not being allowed to be sold here in America, Huawei Technologies, because it's a Chinese company. They found spyware in the hardware, so they stopped allowing it to be sold. So that's just what we've found. What else do they have in their products and hardware that they create that is going all over the world, that's feeding all the information back to China? It's just like TikTok. This is, TikTok, all the data goes to, supposedly doesn't go to China, but it's owned by China, ByteDance, which is a parent company of TikTok. So we know all that data is going there. So they're making massive data sets, even bigger than the US government has, I assume, maybe with some operations they have that we don't know about. But they have the world's best Venn diagram of every single person in America. And then they can use that to stoke chaos, to stoke fears, to stoke division, to with the ultimate goal of breaking down America. And I believe they're infusing this climate change narrative into America so that we destroy ourselves with this degrowth communism crap, while they get to pollute more and more and do whatever they want, but no one turns an eye to them. Everyone's focused on ourselves. And now we have to drink out of paper straws.